Why does this happen? Because your mind is wired to seek approval and connection. When someone close to you constantly judges or belittles you, your brain responds with stress and anxiety, releasing chemicals that drain your mental and emotional reserves. Over time, this wears down your resilience, leaving you vulnerable to even more negativity. The deeper danger is when you internalize their words, turning their criticism into your own harsh self-talk. This cycle keeps you trapped in self-doubt, unable to move forward with clarity or confidence. But here is the truth that can set you free. Your worth is not defined by anyone else's opinion. The moment you recognize that these critics are not speaking your truth, you reclaim the power to choose what you believe about yourself. You can learn to protect your mind from their harsh voices by setting boundaries that guard your self-esteem and preserve your energy. Saying no to constant criticism isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect. It's refusing to allow someone else's negativity to poison your vision or slow your progress. Imagine how it would feel to wake up each day with a mind clear of doubt, a heart strong with belief, and energy flowing freely because you've cut ties with the voices that held you back. This shift is not just possible, it is necessary. Your dreams require you to be bold, to trust yourself deeply, and to stand firm even when others don't understand or support you. The power to transform your life begins by breaking free from those who drain your energy through relentless criticism. When you do, you open space for courage to grow, for creativity to flourish, and for your true potential to shine. Remember, the critic's words reflect their own fears and limitations, not yours. You deserve to surround yourself with respect, encouragement, and kindness, especially from within. Guard your inner world fiercely. Protect your self-belief as if your life depends on it. Because it does, you hold the key to your energy, your confidence, and your future. Don't give that power away. Stand tall, set your boundaries, and watch your life change in ways you never thought possible. There are people who seem to live for chaos, for the storms that unsettle calm waters and drain peace from any room they enter. Their presence is like a whirlwind, pulling you into emotional turmoil whether you want to or not. This constant drama is not just exhausting, it is a calculated drain on your energy, one that keeps you tethered to crisis instead of progress. When you engage with someone who thrives on chaos, your emotional system is forced into overdrive. Your heart races, your mind spins, and your focus fractures. This creates a biochemical storm inside your body that leaves you depleted, anxious, and unable to think clearly. The endless cycle of emotional upheaval rewires your brain to expect tension and conflict, making calmness and clarity feel foreign, even uncomfortable. This toxicity steals your ability to respond with calm wisdom. Instead, it triggers reactive patterns that keep you locked in stress and distraction. The chaos magnet's constant crises demand your attention and energy, pulling you away from your goals, your joy, and your sense of control. Their need to be the center of emotional storms is not your burden to carry. The more you try to fix or contain their chaos, the more of yourself you lose. Emotional exhaustion sets in quietly but deeply, eroding your strength from the inside out. You begin to lose sight of what truly matters because your energy is consumed by managing their turmoil instead of nurturing your own peace. But peace is not a luxury. It is a necessity for your growth and happiness. Recognizing the emotional storm as a drain rather than an obligation is the first step toward freedom. You do not have to be drawn into every crisis, caught in every whirlwind, or overwhelmed by every upheaval. Setting boundaries around your emotional energy is not a rejection of others. It is a fierce act of self-preservation. It is choosing to protect your mental health and prioritize your own calm. When you refuse to be pulled into chaos, you reclaim your power to choose your reactions and direct your energy toward what truly matters. Imagine how it feels to create space for stillness, where your mind can breathe, where your focus sharpens, and where your energy builds instead of breaks down. This is the space where transformation happens. Your ability to say no to drama is not about shutting others out. It is about saying yes to yourself, yes to clarity, yes to peace, yes to the life you want to build without unnecessary emotional sabotage. The energy spent on emotional chaos is energy lost from your dreams. When you protect your boundaries, you strengthen your resilience. You become less reactive and more centered, less exhausted and more empowered. You create a sanctuary within yourself where calm rules over chaos. The choice is yours. Remain tethered to emotional storms that exhaust you, or step back and protect your energy fiercely. This boundary is not just about distance, it is about reclaiming your right to live with intention and peace. When you stop feeding the cycle of drama, you open the door to a deeper strength, one built on calm confidence and unwavering focus. This strength will carry you forward toward the life you deserve. Your energy is sacred. Guard it against the chaos that threatens to steal it away. You owe that to yourself. There are those who live in a constant cloud of negativity, always expecting the worst, focusing on what can go wrong rather than what could go right. Their words and attitudes cast shadows over every conversation, draining hope and dimming your inner light. This pessimism is not just an attitude. It is a silent thief of energy that slowly erodes your motivation and joy. When you surround yourself with persistent negativity, your brain begins to absorb it, wiring itself to anticipate failure and disappointment instead of success and possibility. This is not mere pessimism. It is a pattern that hijacks your mindset, trapping you in a cycle of fear and hesitation. The emotional weight they carry becomes yours to bear, even when you try to resist. This constant barrage of doubt and despair doesn't just affect your mood. It affects your ability to dream, to believe, and to act with confidence. Your vision for your life starts to blur, clouded by the relentless storm of a what if you say, and it won't work. The mind craves certainty and hope, but when all it hears is negativity, it begins to shut down, retreating from risks and challenges. Your energy, once vibrant and forward-moving, becomes depleted under the heavy fog of pessimism. It is easy to think that these voices are just being realistic or cautious, but the truth is, they limit you more than any external obstacle ever could. When the mind is trapped in negativity, your emotions follow, tightening the grip of anxiety, sadness, or resignation. This impacts your health, your relationships, and your ability to stay motivated. Breaking free from this requires more than just ignoring the pessimist around you. It requires a conscious decision to protect your mental space fiercely. You must become aware of how their negativity seeps into your thoughts and actively choose to reject it. This means limiting your exposure to their words and shifting your focus toward hope, possibility, and solutions. When you guard your mind against the pull of pessimism, you create room for optimism to grow, a vital source of energy that propels you forward even in uncertainty. Choosing to distance yourself from chronic negativity is not about turning your back on reality, but about refusing to let despair dictate your future. You reclaim control over your thoughts and emotions, allowing yourself to envision a better tomorrow. Imagine waking each day feeling lighter, energized and more aligned with your deepest aspirations. Imagine replacing doubt with determination, hesitation with action, and fear with faith. This shift is possible when you commit to protecting your energy from the This is the path to freedom, peace, and unstoppable momentum toward the life you deserve. There are those whose constant need for validation becomes an unrelenting weight on your energy. That insecurity demands endless reassurance, approval, and attention, draining your capacity to focus on your own growth and dreams. This type of emotional dependency is exhausting because it shifts your energy from your purpose to managing their fears and doubts. When you are around people who require constant affirmation, your mental space becomes cluttered with their anxieties. You begin to feel responsible for their happiness, as if your worth depends on soothing their insecurities. This is a heavy burden to carry, one that leaves you feeling overwhelmed, distracted, and depleted. Your energy, which should be fueling your aspirations, is instead being siphoned off to keep someone else emotionally afloat. The emotional toll is profound, creating a cycle where you give more than you receive, eroding your resilience and clouding your clarity. This dynamic can leave you feeling trapped, guilty, and unsure of how to reclaim your energy without hurting someone you care about. But the truth is, your energy is not an infinite resource to be spent on others' insecurities at the cost of your own well-being. Boundaries here are not just necessary, they are life-saving. Setting limits on how much emotional labor you provide protects your mental and emotional health. It frees you to focus on your goals and reclaim the power to say no without guilt. When you start to see that you cannot fix someone else's insecurity, you stop taking on their emotional burdens. Instead, you offer support in ways that do not sacrifice your energy or peace. or peace. Imagine what it feels like to have your own energy shielded, your time respected, and your focus undisturbed by others' constant need for validation. This allows you to move forward with purpose and confidence. Your life begins to reflect your priorities, not the demands of those seeking endless reassurance. The freedom that comes from setting these boundaries is transformative. You shift from caretaker to creator, from drained to empowered. This change doesn't make you uncaring, it makes you wise. You understand that true connection comes from mutual respect, not emotional exhaustion. Your energy is sacred, and protecting it allows you to be your best self, present and engaged with those who uplift you. The emotional dependency of others does not have to dictate your limits or your life or your life. You hold the power to decide where your energy goes, who deserves your time, and how deeply you invest in others' fears. When you say no to endless validation demands, you say yes to your growth, your dreams, and your peace. This is not selfish, it is essential. It is the foundation of a life where your energy fuels your ambitions, your happiness, and your strength. You are worthy of that kind of energy. Guard it fiercely. Let go of what drains you. Claim your power to create a life filled with purpose, peace, and unstoppable momentum. Your energy is your most valuable asset. Protect it with unwavering commitment. Some people consistently sow doubt in your mind, not through overt criticism, but by subtly questioning your choices, your goals, and your worth. Their skepticism wears you down because it undermines your confidence bit by bit, creating an invisible barrier between you and your potential. This quiet doubt chips away at your resolve, making you second-guess your decisions and hesitate before taking action. The relentless questioning and disbelief become a persistent background noise that clouds your clarity and drains your energy. When you internalize these doubts, your mind becomes a battlefield where fear battles courage and hesitation replaces boldness. This internal conflict consumes mental resources that could otherwise fuel creativity, progress, and resilience. You start to feel stuck, unable to move forward, because the very people around you seem to suggest you won't succeed. This is not mere skepticism, it is a slow erosion of your belief in yourself. Your energy diminishes under the weight of this invisible assault, making it harder to summon the strength needed to chase your dreams. The danger lies in how easily doubt disguised as concern infiltrates your mind. It often masquerades as a just trying to help, but its impact is to drain your willpower and stall your growth. When doubt takes root, motivation wanes and fear gains control. Your focus shifts from what's possible to what could go wrong. This shift is devastating because it keeps you confined within limits you didn't set. Recognizing this energy drain is critical. You must learn to discern when doubt is destructive rather than constructive. Not all questioning is bad, but when it consistently diminishes your belief in yourself and your path, it becomes toxic. Setting boundaries with those who foster doubt means protecting your inner voice, the one that believes in your vision, your ability, and your worth. You must defend that voice fiercely because it is the foundation of your energy and drive. Imagine waking up free from the fog of doubt, your mind clear, your confidence renewed. Imagine embracing your goals with unwavering faith and the courage to act despite uncertainty. This freedom is possible when you stop allowing others' skepticism to infiltrate your mindset. You reclaim your mental space and build resilience against external doubts. This boundary is not about shutting out all criticism, but about filtering what nourishes your growth from what undermines it. Your energy belongs to you. It should fuel your aspirations, not be drained by others' disbelief. By protecting yourself from this subtle but powerful energy drain, you create the mental clarity and emotional strength needed to push forward boldly. You empower yourself to trust your instincts and keep moving even when the path is unclear. Your energy is your most precious asset. Guard it from the silent thieves of doubt. Stand firm in your worth and your vision. When you do, your potential becomes unstoppable, and your dreams transform into reality. There are those whose presence feels like a heavy fog, draining your energy through constant complaining and negativity that never seeks solutions. This chronic victim mentality is exhausting because it traps both them and you in a cycle of hopelessness. When you listen to someone who always focuses on what's wrong without looking for ways forward, your mind begins to mirror that despair. Your energy, instead of being directed toward growth and action, becomes entangled in their negativity, pulling you down into a stagnant space where motivation fades and frustration grows. This is not just about bad moods. It is a psychological trap that hijacks your focus and depletes your emotional reserves. When you constantly absorb someone else's complaints and sense of helplessness, you start to lose belief in your own power to change your circumstances. The brain responds to repeated exposure to negativity by releasing stress hormones that cloud thinking and diminish resilience. Over time, this chemical imbalance weakens your ability to face challenges with strength and clarity. The more you engage with this draining energy, the less capacity you have to nurture your dreams and take bold steps toward your future. It feels like trying to run while carrying weights on your shoulders. The danger of this dynamic is how subtle it is. The complainer often appears to be seeking empathy or connection, but the cost is your energy and momentum. Boundaries here mean choosing not to be a permanent sounding board for despair that offers no hope or solutions. It means valuing your emotional health enough to step back when conversations become toxic cycles of blame and defeat. Imagine how different your days would feel if your mind wasn't crowded by endless complaints, if your energy was free to focus on possibilities instead of problems. You could channel your strength into creating, building, and growing instead of being drained by negativity that leads nowhere. Setting boundaries around chronic complaining is an act of self-respect and survival. It is refusing to be caught in a downward spiral that limits your potential. This boundary is not cold or uncaring. It is necessary to preserve the energy needed for your transformation. When you guard your mind against these constant drains, you open space for hope, creativity, and resilience to thrive. You empower yourself to seek solutions, to embrace challenges, and to rise above obstacles with clarity and courage. Your energy is finite and precious. Protect it fiercely from those who would fill your mind with endless grievances that stifle progress. Your future depends on your ability to focus on what moves you forward, not what holds you back. Say no to being pulled into cycles of helplessness. Say yes to your strength, your dreams, and your unstoppable momentum. This choice is the foundation of the life you want, a life fueled by hope, action, and unwavering belief in your own power. Guard your energy, protect your peace, transform your world. Some individuals thrive on drama and conflict, turning every situation into a battlefield of tension and chaos. Their presence ignites emotional storms that drain your energy, leaving you mentally exhausted and emotionally fragile. This constant turmoil hijacks your focus and peace, replacing clarity with stress and calm with chaos. When you engage with someone addicted to conflict, your nervous system reacts as if you're under threat, flooding your body with stress hormones that deplete your reserves. This biochemical response is exhausting and disorienting, making it difficult to think clearly or act decisively. The cycle of drama keeps you trapped in reactive mode, responding instead of creating, surviving instead of thriving. Every argument, every tension-filled moment pulls you further away from your goals, your happiness, and your true self. You begin to associate your environment with tension, which makes you anxious even before the conflict starts. The emotional roller coaster they create doesn't just steal your energy, it chips away at your confidence, your peace of mind, and your ability to maintain focus on what matters most. Recognizing this destructive energy drain is crucial. The first step is acknowledging that you do not have to engage in every battle, nor carry the weight of someone else's turmoil. Setting boundaries with those who generate constant conflict is not about avoidance, but about protecting your emotional and mental health. It's about choosing peace over chaos, clarity over confusion, and strength over exhaustion. When you distance yourself from unnecessary drama, you reclaim your power to create calm in your life. You learn to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively, gaining emotional control instead of losing it. Imagine the freedom of walking away from conflict without guilt, of preserving your energy for what truly matters, your dreams, your growth, and your well-being. This freedom comes from establishing firm limits on how much drama you allow into your space. It means saying no to toxic interactions and yes to environments that nurture your calm and clarity. Your energy is your most valuable currency. It deserves protection from needless conflict. By refusing to feed the flames of drama, you conserve strength and focus, building resilience that no external turmoil can shake. This boundary doesn't make you weak or uncaring, it makes you wise and strong. You demonstrate respect for yourself and others by choosing peace over chaos. Your life becomes a sanctuary of calm, where creativity and progress flourish. Protecting yourself from conflict addicts is essential for maintaining emotional balance and mental clarity. When you do this, you unlock the ability to face challenges with calm courage and unwavering focus. Your energy becomes a source of power, not a casualty of endless battles. The choice is clear. Let chaos drain you or set boundaries that preserve your peace and propel your progress. Guard your energy fiercely. Choose peace. Build a life of unstoppable momentum fueled by calm, clarity, and strength. This is your path to true freedom. Some people drain your energy by constantly demanding your time, attention, and emotional availability without regard for your own limits or needs. Their relentless demands create an invisible pressure that chips away at your mental and emotional reserves. You find yourself stretched thin, trying to meet their expectations while sacrificing your own well-being. This exhausting dynamic can leave you feeling overwhelmed, depleted, and disconnected from your purpose. When your energy is consumed by others' needs, you lose the ability to focus on your own growth and goals. The weight of constant requests and expectations becomes a heavy burden, sapping your motivation and clarity. This is more than just being busy. It's a slow, silent drain that leaves you running on empty emotionally and physically. The hardest part is that these demands often come from people close to you: family, friends, colleagues, making it difficult to say no without guilt or fear of rejection. Yet, every time you ignore your limits, you give away pieces of your energy, your focus, and your peace. This creates a cycle where exhaustion breeds resentment, and resentment further depletes your emotional strength. The good news is that you don't have to keep giving beyond what feels healthy for you. Setting boundaries around your time and emotional energy is a radical act of self-care and self-respect. It is saying to yourself and others that your needs matter just as much as theirs. Boundaries protect you from burnout and create space for your own priorities. When you establish limits on how much you give, you recharge your energy and renew your capacity to engage meaningfully with others without losing yourself. Imagine how powerful it feels to take back control of your time and energy, to say no without apology, and yes to what truly matters. This freedom fuels your motivation, creativity, and emotional well-being. You begin to operate from a place of abundance, not depletion. When you guard your energy by honoring your limits, you shift from exhaustion to empowerment. You create a life where giving comes from choice, not obligation. This balance is essential for sustained growth and happiness. Your energy is a sacred resource. Protect it fiercely, rigorously. Remember, you are not selfish for prioritizing yourself. You are wise, you are strong, you are the steward of your own well-being. When you set boundaries that honor your energy, you become unstoppable. You reclaim the power to focus deeply on your dreams, to show up fully for yourself, and to engage authentically with those who respect your limits. This is how transformation happens. This is how you rise above exhaustion and step into your fullest potential. Protect your energy by setting clear, compassionate boundaries around your time and emotional availability. Stand firm in your worth. Embrace the freedom that comes from choosing yourself. Your energy is your greatest asset. Guard it with unwavering commitment. Your life depends on it. There are people who consistently drain your energy through their relentless criticism and negativity, masking their attacks as honest feedback, but offering little that uplifts or encourages. Their words cut deep, eroding your self-esteem and shaking your confidence. This constant barrage of judgment wears down your spirit, making it harder to believe in your worth and your ability to succeed.